Well, it's good to see you all again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Had you two met before? Never.
We have friends in common, but we
Yeah.
had not met. I was a fan of his.
Yeah, not before we did the chemistry read for this film. But I was told that he was interested in the film before I read the script. So I was reading the script, imagining him playing Stu.
I mean, you two, it seems like you guys have known each other your entire lives. The chemistry is unbelievable. I mean, you guys really, it's hard to put, like, and they call them buddy comedies, but, you know, it's hard to put two people together and get magic out of it. And I'm just going to tell you, I know you both, but I'm going to tell even if you weren't in the room, I would tell you, this works.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's action, it's comedy, but there's also emotions.
Yeah, it's got a lot of heart.
Is that something that appealed to you both as you read the script?
For me, definitely, yeah. Because it's just something that's just going to separate it. You know, it's going to separate us. I think for me, I was looking for a comedy that was also a good film. And I found stuff that was funny, but it wasn't it wasn't a good film. It didn't make for the total package. And I just felt like this did, because it's got not only the comedy, it's got the laughs, but it's got enough emotion to really get people to engage. But also, I have to point out that the action in this film is, it's great. It's world-class action.
I want to hear about the rehearsal for the action scenes.
Obviously, they didn't get as much time as they should have. It was a lot of tweaking while they were shooting, just because it's for the type of movie it is. It's a low-budget movie for the type of movie it is. So they really had to work on their feet.
Yeah, but we had talented people, and so it was just a lot of tweaking as we go, kind of figuring out as we go, making it work.
Do you all have a favorite scene? Can I tell you what mine is?
I do.
Yes.
When you get on the phone in the warehouse.
Hello, operator? We need help. Someone's trying to murder us.
It's in the trailer, so I could say it.
Right.
But when you see it in the film, I was
Yeah.
laughing out loud.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hysterical.
I love that joke. For me, the favorite one, which I love to watch, and which was also my favorite to shoot, was the scene that we have in the sporting goods store.
Me too,
I don't want to
yeah.
give too much away, but
That's my favorite
there's a
scene.
scene that we have that I loved it when I read it, and I loved it when I shot it, and then I loved it when I watched it.
So you two are big time movie stars, but do you have do you have Uber ratings? Do you guys ride Uber?
Of course.
Yeah.
My rating is
know.
slightly lower than it should be. I'm always nice. I'm never rude. I don't necessarily want to get into an intense conversation, but my rating's lower than it should be.
I wonder if they expect that you're gonna just be on the ride and make them laugh the whole way, and
Yeah.
they're disappointed that you don't.
Something.
Because you're
yeah.
kind of quiet, reserved, and you're
Yeah,
busy.
I sort of like to, on my own.
Like, he didn't make me laugh at all.
1 star.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right, so action, comedy, but you know what? There's so much more to this movie than that. Am I right? Is that
Yes.
something that drew you to this story?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wanted to do an action comedy that was more akin to those films I loved growing up, like Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours or Midnight Run. So when I got the script, I was like, oh yeah, I could do something with this. But I think what the other element that I think will surprise people about this film is that there's a great heart to the movie. There's an emotional resonance to this film that's well-earned. And you sit through people getting their head blown off and all this stuff and fights and madness. But at the end, there's a big old heart at the end of it.
Dave and Kumail, I couldn't believe that they had really never met.
Yeah.
Before this project, I asked them that earlier.
Yeah.
What was it like to direct those two? Because they're both incredible actors. Obviously, they've both done great films.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I mean, they couldn't be nicer guys, more professional. What's great about them is that they really want to make a great film, and that's all you can ask for as a director, is somebody who's there to make it awesome. And they from the first time I put them in front of a camera at a chemistry read just to test them, I knew right away that they were perfect for each other. That's what's so important in these movies, is all that relationship and comedy is grounded in conflict, and they got to be good at ribbing each other.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because they are like besties now. I mean, it's seeing them together on camera, which is difficult. It doesn't always happen. That's a hard thing to get. You know that.
For sure.
Action. But there is action. It's action comedy, and there's emotions, but there's a lot of action in this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what were the challenges to some of the scenes, especially the shootout scenes are pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is it's always time on set. Like, you never have enough time, and doing it and keeping people safe. But I'm a big fan of sloppy action. Like, it shouldn't feel like the last reel of the Blues Brothers is like Bible to me. Of I'd much rather drive a 10 cars into each other at 100 miles an hour, then flips some car in a nice fancy way or something. And I think the fights being sloppy make them feel really real, but they're violent, and they're also funny. I think comedy or action can go, if done right and violent enough, can go all the way back to being funny again.
It's called Stuber, but I'm curious. Also, did you guys have to get permission from Uber, or did they have?
No, I think
really
Uber's just like, it's like Kleenex now or anything. It's just so used right now. It's fine. So we never got clearance, or we never asked. There's no sponsorship or anything. It's just, and it's a better title than Stiffed. So
It is. How different were these roles for you two than anything? We're going to talk about the genre, if we can define that, of the movie here in a second. But how different are these roles for you than anything else you've ever done?
This wasn't super different for me as far as like a girl who rolls her eyes at men, because I've done that. Apparently I'm good at it. I think I have some real life experience that helps me in that
It's like your
scenario.
signature.
Yeah.
It's a good signature.
It's good to just disapprove. But it was different in that I got to show a little bit of like a family dynamic, which isn't something I've gotten to do a lot on the like TV shows that I've done before. So that was fun to do.
Same question for you.
Yeah, I think I have also played people who are insane before, so this was just, continuing that trajectory of insanity. But it was really fun to do that in an action movie where you're sort of used to the female characters either, like rolling their eyes holding a laundry basket or rolling their eyes naked. And we got to, there were no laundry baskets or nudity in either.
Yay, so we're rocking.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no like, hey, go get him.
Yeah.
It was like, when are you coming back? Why aren't you here for, we have businesses that are thriving. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I like how you just turned that on just now. That was impressive. Very good.
Well,
The reason I was talking about the genre, because it's action, it's comedy, and specifically with your characters, there are emotions at play. Mm-hmm. And I know when I was telling people last night I saw this movie, I said it's everything you want it to be. And but I thought it was a comedy. No, it's action, it's emotional. But was that important for you two, to portray, to include?
Yeah, I mean, I think when something's well-rounded, it's always fun to play because there are so many sides to every situation and every person. It's like sometimes really tragic things can be hilarious and vice versa. So I think that makes it all the more fun.
yeah, and I think that a movie is more effective when it sounds so trite and obvious, but when you feel like it's really happening to real people. And I think that, action movies can be very fantastical and you have to sort of suspend your belief, and it's easier when you think that they're real people.
Yeah.
Amen. So when you first read this script, were you just laughing hysterically?
I was like, okay, I'm lucky to be a part of this. This is going to be something special. Yeah.
Because it's action, it's comedy, but there's also like more to it, which is what I really like about it.
Yes. I think that, it takes that trope of the male buddy cop comedy, this chasing and fighting and, odd couple story, and then brings a whole new kind of, I'd say, like, modern perspective to it. I mean, Kumail represents a certain kind of person who is like a millennial, like wants to brew his own microbrews, is investing in a spin club for women called Spinster, which is a hilarious name, is waiting patiently for his lady love to warm up to the idea that he's in love with her, which he can't express, but he's very calm, very sweet. He meditates, he's like, just a nice guy, probably shops at Whole Foods or at least, Trader Joe's. And, he wants to, live an uncomplicated, simple life. Where Dave is the traditional cop, he's Dave Bautista plays Vic, who's like all Neanderthal, type A, like wanting to get the bad guy and unrelentlessly punishing himself for letting one get away who killed his partner, this guy named Tejo, and that's, who's chasing throughout this movie.
What was it like to go to work and work with an ensemble like this? You included with this, incredible talent in this film. What was it like to just see the rest of this cast at work?
Everyone was wonderful and high level, and Michael, our director, really did a phenomenal job taking this great script, but making it even more come to life on the day. Like it just all the different facets are realized. Like the action stuff is pretty incredible because, you know, Taejo does these things that we don't see American guys do. He's really from that Hong Kong school of action movie. Like it's crazy. In the first sequence, you see him dropping down from balcony to balcony in this tall, crazy atrium of a hotel, and he's just clinging by his fingertips and then dropping down one step and doing these spin kicks that like no ordinary mortal can achieve. So lots of amazing things happen, but being in the presence of all these wonderful people working at the top of their game, and Natalie Morales, who's such a dear, wonderful, terrific actress, and they were all great. I mean, I spent the most time with Dave, and I love Dave Bautista, I really do. But Kumail, I'm like, your comedy man is like the best in the world.